Hello tanks and tankettes, welcome to a very recent game indeed. This is the KV-2, this is one from Fly's birthday livestream, and it's probably also the last regular World of Tanks replay I'll be putting up before the 25th, which I understand is some kind of holiday thing? I don't know, I don't really pay attention to this stuff, but you know, the KV-2 I felt was an appropriate choice, not only because this was an amusing game, but the KV-2 is indeed the gift that keeps on giving, and giving, and giving. Now, along with Fly, we've got Snooze in the platoon, although at this point in the evening he didn't have a KV-2 himself, the filthy scrub, although he did actually give in and later buy one. It's actually only been relatively recently that he will have been able to do that as well, because he's largely avoided Russian tanks up until not that long ago, and again, not that long ago was when he bought, or even indeed bought, the KV-1 for the first time. So it was basically in the progress of the evening that he was persuaded, I think largely by our performances and the promises of just how fun this machine can be, to actually go ahead and buy it himself. Although I think certainly in that evening, I mean he might have unlocked it by now, but he only had the small derp, the 122, rather than the 152. So we're in a tier 7 battle, but the KV-2 doesn't care. It doesn't care if it's in a tier 8 battle. Hell, you could get into a tier 10 battle and you wouldn't especially care, although you might have to be a bit more cautious, because your armour really isn't going to count for anything in a tier 10 battle. On the other hand, derping Rheinmetals and Waffle Panzer IVs and Waffle E100s and some of the lightly armoured medium tanks that are around would just be hilarious. So yeah, I don't know, is there such a thing as a KV-2 fail platoon in a tier 10 battle? I don't think that would be a fail platoon. I think that would be an awesome platoon. Maybe I'll have to try that someday. So we've got a Tiger P with us, which is alright. T29 in the middle, along with Snooze and Chaffee. There's an E25 on the one line, who is in the usual spotting bush there. He's actually gotten to that position early enough that he clearly wasn't spotted doing it, so if he's got the right equipment, he can basically see quite far down that line. Although, of course, the people behind him need to be far enough forward to actually shoot the things he's spotting, because if they're out of render range, then good luck with that. On this side, there's a T29 and a KV-2 that have been spotted going over the tracks, along with the Churchill 7, although for some reason the Churchill 7 decided to go in the middle. Not quite sure why. This is not an encounter mode battle, and that's not a good place to be in a slow tank. However, that was his choice, and yeah, he's gonna be pretty much stuck with that. So there's the T29. I do have 6 sensor on this tank, so I know I'm not spotted just yet. But a sharp eye will have spotted on the minimap. Yeah, that's a comment up there as well. And I just realised as I zoomed out of the sniper view that T29, no, not alone up there. Now this is not particularly good because both the T29 and the Comet have good gun depression. And as you can see there, the Comet can sit there and hit me, but realises just a fraction too late that if I'm stopping to aim at you in a KV-2, it probably means that my shell has loaded. That hit from the middle also, well, we can see it's the Chiri at this point, but yeah, that could be a problem, because the side of my turret is going to be absolutely no issue for the Chiri Scud, even though it's not particularly good. Snooze, unfortunately, has just been clicked by the arty, and oh baby. Oh, that was so good. Oh, sorry, what was I saying? Yes, Snooze was actually a bit pessimistic when we first loaded into battle, because it's an S51, and apparently he gets killed by S51s more than he'd like, and that's exactly what happened in this one. Now, watch these reaction times. Yeah. The Chiri's unloading at you. Do you continue up, or do you fall back immediately? And what did I do there? Maybe not quite the right thing. So I've had to use my health kit, my first aid kit on one of the loaders, because you don't want a dead loader in the KV-2. Although it's not quite so bad because it's 2 loaders. Tanks where you only have 1 loader and a big gun tend to suffer more for losing that loader, because the load time goes way up. But tanks with 2 loaders is actually not so bad, because you've only gained a quarter of the, or is it half the effect? I can't even remember. It would be half the effect, obviously, but it would be like an extra quarter of the reload time or something. I don't know, I've confused myself with trying to think of percentages and things. So the Chiri's down in the middle, that's fine. Enemy artillery is still a threat if he starts, if he starts aiming here. On the other flank, well, the E25, he lasted a little while. He actually was able to push down the sort of 2-3 line and got killed. So it wasn't that it was just sitting in the bush the whole time. The people behind him are starting to move up slowly. It doesn't look like they've got tier 7 enemies on that side. In fact, the enemy team was run out of tier 7 tanks entirely, apart from the S51. But even though it's the Jagdpanther Su-152 and the Tiger 1, they're still taking a little while to get up there. And to be fair, they're probably being shelled by arty as well, because not only the S51, but also there's a Gorilla and oh, that shot. Oh, excuse me, I might need to go and change my trousers. That was just... Yeah, that happened. That happened. That's why we KV-2. That is exactly why we KV-2. It's the shots like those. That was an enemy KV-2, and just top of his turret, whatever it was, I don't even know where that hit, to be honest. It must have been either the bit in between the gun mantle and the top of the turret, or maybe I somehow looped the shell into the top of his turret. I don't know, but it was freaking glorious either way. So Fly or possibly the Tiger P have spotted the S51, and yeah, Fly saw that coming, unfortunately. I think he was trying to aim for the S51 and then was like, actually I might die, and then he did, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, I make an odd choice here. Don't quite know why I was convinced that an asshole might be down there, which, if he was, he possibly would have been spotted at this point, but I'm being really cautious. I mean, there's a T-29 moving up. I don't especially want to be at the front given the matchmaking, but there are only tier 6s left, and we know that Churchill 7 is probably still in the ditch, because if he'd tried to get out of the ditch at this point, he would have been spotted. But instead of just going over the lip and shooting down into the Churchill 7 and getting more damage that way, I actually come down back down this flank of the hill, and yeah, I mean, okay, I might get a chance to shoot at him, but I could have had more damage. And there we go, I get the kill. A little bit of icing on top of the already delicious cake that I've enjoyed so heartily. I mean, 2 shots on the Comet and 1 shot on that KV-2, just mwah, just absolutely superb. So we seem to have this. They're down to a pair of arties and the KV-85 and the Nashorn. And the Nashorn's probably in the corner where the KV-85 is. He's not been spotted at all at this point. And once the S51 is down, that's the last major threat of the enemy team dealt with. So we have won. I mean, it would be quite hard to throw this away, basically. So there's the Gorilla, who just swiftly dies to the Jagdpanther. Although the Jagdpanther being so far forward, I mean, fair enough, he's the faster of the two. It kind of makes sense you would go forward at this stage and try and spot in the Jagdpanther, but he takes a double whammy, so yeah, we know for sure they're both there. If the SU had been with him, maybe the damage would have been spread a bit, but it doesn't matter. Even if one of those guys goes down, the net is closing, and I'm just looking for a last possible shot at this point. So I'm just going to be a bit cautious. I know I'm spotted. I'm never going to spot them with my KV-2. It's not, it can do many things, but it's not a scout tank. And I'm just maybe hoping to tempt them to take a shot at me, which would reveal them. But oh, there's KV-85. Going to auto-aim to get that centre of mass shot, and... Oh, wait, what? Nashorn destroyed! Yep, that just happened. The enemy Nashorn, unspotted for the entire battle, just happened to be between me and that KV-85. And I just one-shot him, and it was glorious. That was the perfect ending to what was already a fairly amusing KV-2 game. I mean, I didn't get to shoot my gun that many times, but killing the Comet and the KV-2 was pretty glorious, and then I got to nibble some bits of damage off the T-29 and the Churchill 7 as well. But that last shot was just like, oh, it was just pure KV-2. It was fantastic. A blind kill on a guy that hadn't been spotted the entire battle, and was technically never spotted. We only ever saw his corpse, so it was just glorious. So, like I said, the KV-2, the gift that keeps on giving. So, quick look at the scores. I mean, it seems almost superfluous to look at the scores after that match, but we're going to do it anyway. That was the equivalent of an ace tanker, and I got a high caliber, a bunch of other ribbons. I was first place on the team with 1313 base XP. Second place was the E25, and you might think, he only had 113 damage. How on earth did he? Well, obviously a bunch of spotting damage, because if you can get to that early position, it's a risk. But if you can get to that bush and you don't get spotted, you can rack up so much spotting damage on that other flank. Fly was actually 4th place. It didn't do that much damage, but he was shooting at higher tier targets, I guess. And the damage kind of spread on this team was a bit odd. I mean, I kind of walked away thinking, well, somebody surely must have gotten more than I will. But with that last blind kill on the Nassau, that just really pushed me over the top. But it was just pretty glorious all around. So, yeah, 6 shots fired, 6 hits, and 3,273 damage at the end there. So that was the essence of KV-2. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than that. And I will actually just note as well, before I wrap up this video, that the very next battle, I also got an ace mastery on a defeat. That one really wasn't quite so entertaining to watch, but it still had some funny one-shots, and again, it was a tier 7 battle, and again, I did by far the best of the team, as it turned out, but sadly, it didn't go our way in that one at all. It was still kind of fun though, there were still some amusing moments, but in the end I decided I was just going to show this one because it was just that perfect collection of just those couple of moments when you think, yeah, this is why I own a KV-2, this is why this tank is glorious. So, happy holidays, or Merry Christmas, as the case may be. Delete as appropriate. I'm sure all the politically sensitive folks will be like, oh, I'm glad he said happy holidays first. Oh wait, he said Merry Christmas as well. My work here is done, is all I can say. Anyway, and yeah, watch out for that Q&D video, hopefully tomorrow. If not, it'll probably be maybe a day or two after Christmas, but we'll see. And I just hope everybody has a good time over the coming couple of days. So, if you enjoyed this video, you can hit the like button, you can leave any comments below, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.